thanks for joining me to color. Today we're going to be working on this adorable Magnolia image called PinNot Tilda. Isn't she a doll? Love her. The little sentiment down here is from the Hero Arts Mini Everyday Messages stamp set. You do not get that stamp set in the kit. You're only going to get this one little sentiment on the tag. I will put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I will make sure to get back to you. Otherwise, I have already stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound Solar White cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So let's color. So let's start out by giving our girl an outline. For that, we're going to use BG 000, quadruple 0, and our Colorless Splendor. I'm going to start with my BG 000, and let's do, let me turn my girl here, let's do a little bit of that over on this side of her little page. And down here. And then we're going to do a little dab over here on this side. So let's start right here with this little bump in her hair. Go down here. And do it first, so if I get any on my girl, I'll be able to erase it. That. Then we're going to grab our BG quadruple 0 and we're going to go all the way around with that. So let's start down here at her shoe, and I'm just going to brush away from her, and we're going to go all the way up and around to the other side. And then over here on this side of the paper, I'm going to go this way, so I can fill that space in there between her head and the paper. And then let's go up over this sheet of paper right here just a little bit. And then we're going to come down the other side. So I'm going to touch down on top of my B 000 and flick out past that. Go around our little pin. And then we're going to take our Colorless Splendor and we're going to go over both of those. So I'm going to lay my pin down on top of the girl and I'm going to go out past both colors. And this will work best if your Colorless Splendor is not dried up. It needs to be full. I like it to just flow right over the top of the paper, not be draggy or feel like it's stuck. This way too, if I got a little bit on here, by pulling it out away, it's going to erase those little accidents. And like right here, let's get rid of that. We don't want our finger to be blue. That wouldn't be very good. And up here I got a little bit more, so I'm going to do a little bit more of my Colorless Splendor in there to soften that edge. How about right here? So let's give our girl some grass to stand on. For that, we're going to use YG 93, YG 61, G40, G20. And we're going to start with our YG 93. And I'm going to go just above her shoe where the little sole is. I'm going to flick out away from her. Give me a little line, and then the same back here. And then I want to do a couple little grass strokes. So let's give a little bit of grass in here. And I do have a stamp by Stampin' Bella in the store that you can stamp the little grass strokes on there. Then we're going to go with YG 61. So we're going to go right underneath of this line, go under a shoe, this side, and then I'm going to add a few pieces of grass with this color. Then we want to add G40. So I'm going to go right underneath of my YG93 and go over the top of the YG61. And then we're going to add some G20. I'm going to go over the last three colors and add a little bit of this yellow. And then I'd like to go back with my darkest color, which was YG93. And we'll darken this line back up. And a few of these little grass pieces. Let's do her skin next. For that, we're going to use E11, 21, 00, 000, and for her cheeks, I'm going to use R02, 12, and 11. And we're going to start down here on her leg. There where her feet are. She's not going to wear socks. We're going to give her just some skin color. And we're going to start with our E11. And we're going to do a little dab of that right on this back side. And then we're going to add E21. And since it's underneath of all those pants, I'm going to fill that in. But I'm going to go over that with my E00. Just to soften it a little bit. I'll do a little dab on that one. I think that's a little bit of skin showing right here. Okay, then we're going to go up here and we'll do her arm. So again, grab your E11. So we're going to start with this one. And let's see, let's do a little dab underneath of her sleeve. And there's a bunch of dots there already, so I'm just going to use those as my guide. And then we're going to come down. And there's a few that come out here, so she's got a little wrinkle there in her arm. Let's go down here. And then we'll give one right here on her thumb. This thumb. Let's go back around over here. And right here where her hand is bent, we're going to give it a little bit in there. And then, let's see, she's got a little wrinkle right here in her arm. Like that. Then we're going to add E21. So I want to just lightly brush on the edge of my E11, so just a little bit. And then we're going to add E00. I'm going to fill this little spot here on the top of her arm in. Let's bring this away. And then we want to go over the rest with our E00. Okay, let's hop over here and do this arm. So again, grab your E11 first. And let's do a little dab right next to her sleeve. And then let's go right under in the back of her arm. She's got her elbow right here, so I'm going to give that a little bit of extra line. And here she's holding the paper, so let's give a little bit right here. And then the back where her hand's curling back around. And how about a little bit right here in this elbow. Then we want to add E21. So I'm just going to very lightly go just along the edge of that E11. Make it a little bit wider. Then we want to add E00. And then we want to go over all of that with our E00. And we'll move over here to our face, so grab your E11. And let's do a little dab here on her neck. So right in here in her crease. There. And then for her hair, let's go, she's got a few little dots right here, so I'm going to use those. And then I'm going to come across and down and around to her sleeve. Then we're going to add E21. So get a little dab on her neck. And then we're going to soften this edge. And we're going to bring it back around over to this side. Next we want to add E00. So I'm going to fill in the rest of her neck. And then we'll add a touch of our E00. And then we're going to add some cheek colors. Let's grab R02. And I use these little dots that are already there as my guide. Then we're going to add R12. And then R11. Then I'm going to grab my E00 and I'm going to brush that from the side over those cheeks. Same with this side. I had a few little lines up here, so I made sure to brush over those. And then we'll go over the entire face with our E00. I think I called it E00 earlier. Sorry about that if I did. It was E00 the whole time. And I think I'll add just a little bit more pink. So let's grab R02. And then our E00 over that. So let's do our hair next. For that, we're going to use E44, 43, 42, and 41. And we're going to start with our E44 first. And let's do, she's got a little bit of her hair that's showing right underneath of her arm right here. So I'm going to do that right away. I'm just going to color it in so I don't have to worry about it. And then above her arm, let's add a little bit up here. And then away from her face. And then up here, it kind of curves underneath, so I'm going to color this in up here at the top. And then we'll bring a little bit down here. And let's see, let's do a little dab right here in this crease right here. That. Then let's see, let's go up here and we'll do her roots. So let's go away from this little part. That. And then over here on this side, let's again go away from her part. And this one kind of curves down a little bit, so let's go with that curve. And then over here, she's got a couple little spots where it looks like it dips down behind. So let's get that. Right here. And then right here, this one's coming out from underneath this little bang piece. And then down here, it's going back behind her face again, so let's give that a little bit. And then we'll add a bit to this little section that's coming away from her face. That. And then let's see, oh, right here she's got a little bit of hair right here behind her arm, so do that. And then let's do a little bit coming away from her sleeve. Okay, then we want to grab our E43 and we want to add a little bit onto this one, so let's go over here. I'm going to fill it in right here above her shirt. We'll fill in that little section that's going behind there. And then we'll add some to her part. And then it starts curving a different way, so make sure you color with the direction of the hair. And then we'll add a dab down here. Then we're going to add E42. And then we want to go over that with our E41. And you can leave some white in there too if you like that. I can never get mine to look right still. I always think it looks terrible. It probably doesn't, but to me I think it looks just nasty. We're always our worst critic. And down here. And then we're going to grab our, let's see, E44 again and add a little bit of that dark back in. So let's go down here. See that cute little part up here? Let's get this side. And I think I'll bring this over just a little bit more. And we gotta come away from our face. And I think I'll bring this one up just a little bit more in here too. And then don't forget this little spot right here behind her arm. All right, so the little tack down here, we're going to use E44, 43, 42, 41, so the same colors as your hair. And then for the little stick pin here, we're going to use C3 and 00. So we're going to start with our E44 first. And let's do a little dab of that right over here on this side. And I'm going to bring it a little bit underneath this pin here. And then I want to go on the back side of the little, the top, I guess. And then we're going to bring that right along here, right here. That. Then we're going to add E43. So I'm going to fill in this little spot right here in the back. Okay, well, sorry about that. My granddaughter decided she must have Oreo cookies right this minute. She was very disappointed because she did not get to have that. I told her she already ate ice cream. So we've got our E43. And let's go over here. Evidently, Dad must have told her no. So she thought she'd come upstairs and beg me for some. It didn't work out as well as she thought. Then we're going to go with our E42. And I'm going to fill this little section in right here. And then let's do this pin. And then we want to fill in that, go over the entire thing with our E41. Then for the little stick pin, we're going to add C3. I'm just going to do a little dab of that along the bottom. And then right next to the back, or the top. And then we're going to do over the top of that with our C00. So let's hop up here and do her note next. For that, we're going to use W3, 1, 00, and then E40. I'm going to start with my W3. And let's do that right on the side here of our X. And let's go down her arm. She's got some little dots here, so I'm going to use those. Then I'm going to grab W1, and I'm just going to soften the edge of that W3. Then we are going to do W00. And then I'm going to use this color to color over the top of this X. And then I'm going to go over the background paper with my E40. So I'm just going to brush all the way across. And then I think I'll go over that a second time with my W00. So over the entire back piece with that. Okay, so let's go down here and do our pants next. For that, we're going to use W5, 2, and 00. I'm going to start with my W5 first. And we're going to put a little dab of that right here in the little tuck of her shirt. And then I'm going to do the inside right next to the seam of her pocket. And then up against her sleeve or her shirt on this side. So I need to bring this down way over here. That. And then I want to exaggerate a couple of these lines. So let's go with this one and then around this little bump. And then make a little line here. And then down here, I'm going to make a line right here. And there's some little dots there, so I'm going to kind of make this a little bit wider. And then for the front, again, she's got a little line. We're going to put a little line like over on this side, over here. And we're going to go around that, and let's add a little bit right here on this line. Then we're going to grab W2, and we just want to kind of dab on that line just a little bit. I don't want to make it too much wider, but I just want to soften that edge just a tad. And I'm going to do a little bit on this back part of her pants on that side. She's got a little bit of her leg showing over there. Then we are going to fill in the whole pants with W00. So let's fill in this little section that's showing back here. And I'm going to go over those lines first. So we'll give those a first coat. And then I'm just going to swipe over her entire pants. And I'm also going to, I'm going to leave the ruffle white. I think I'll do a couple more of these little swipes on these little lines. Then I'm going to grab my W5. And I'm going to put those little dark spots back in. So let's do a little bit right here. And I'm going to leave them like that. All right, so that leaves us with her shirt and her shoes. For that, we're going to use W3, E07, R05, R14, and R32. And we're going to start with W3 down here on her shoe. So I'm going to do a little dab of that on the back. There's some little dots there for us, so we're just going to use those. And I'm going to bring it out. That. But I also want to do a little, there's a little bitty indent right here, so I'm going to bring that out still a little bit more. And then for the front of her shoe, I'm going to add this line here, and then we're going to swing up the top of her shoe a little bit. And let's do a little dab right here. Okay, then we're going to go with E07. I want to go right over the top of that W3. And then R05. And let's see, we better do a little bit over here on this side. And then I'm going to brush this away a little bit. Then I'm going to grab R14. Add a little dab of that. So let's go over here and add a little bit on this side. And then down here at the bottom. And then we'll do R32. Okay, let's go up here and do her shirt. So again, we are going to start with W3. And let's do this sleeve over here and just work our way across. So I'm going to do down the back of her sleeve. And then I want to go over these little loops. There's a couple of little circles down here at the bottom. So I'm going to pull those up. Make them a little bit bigger. That. And let's do a little dab up here on her shoulder. Then again, there's some little dots there, so I'm just using those. Then we want to go down here. And right here. And then let's give her shirt a little wrinkle right here, because there's some lines already there. So I'm just going to use those to come out. And then for her sleeve over here on this side, let's go under her chin and down the side. And then again, she's got these little loops here, so I'm going to use those. Oh. And then I want to do a little dab above the skirt of her shirt. Let's see, let's do here. That. And then she's got a couple of little creases on the front of her shirt, so we want to do those. So let's go like this and like that. Looks pretty good so far. Then we're going to add E07. So I want to go just right over the top of that W3. Work our way back to the other side. So far, so good. So now we're going to add R05. And these are pretty small down here, so I'm going to pull these up. I'm going to fill this one in. It's getting a little too tight over there. All right, and then over here we want to do these. And we'll sweep across this one. A little bit on both sides of that line. And then up here, let's see, let's do a little bit more. And then we want to go across this side. And soften these center ones. Then we are going to go with R14. And let's fill in this side of her collar. And let's give it a little highlight right here at the top. So I'm going to go up like this. And then let's see. Let's do this side. And then I think I'll give it a little highlight right in here. So let's couple little lighter areas there. And then let's go down the center of this. And maybe a little dab underneath this, just a little bit. Okay, then we want to go over the entire shirt with our R32. So I'm also going to fill in this bottom little ruffle section. Let's see. So there is our beautiful PinNot Tilda all colored up. Didn't she turn out cute? I love her. And then again, here is the finished card. So on my card, because the eyes didn't stamp very good, I went over those with my Copic multi-liner, and then I added my Sharpie white paint pen in there for the dots. I put some Spica clear glitter pen in her hair, of course, so that it could be sparkly. And the only thing that's popped up on the card is this little note right here. Just a little bit to hold it up off the card. Everything else is attached to the card. A few things are just free at the end, so you don't have to worry about that. And your kit does come with these little pearls, so you can put those on there. So I hope you have fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, make sure and leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.